fifth video journal for Watchmen is online. It's about the Owlship, which is Dan Dreinberg, aka the Second Night Owl, his sweet ride, his means of transportation. And it looks really neat. It just, you know, they made some changes. They kind of know it's just really cool seeing something on the page, like, you know, Snyder was talking about, seeing something on the page, seeing it made into a real three-dimensional object. There's the Owlship in the graphic novel, and that's a really memorable shot right there in the graphic novel that they're going to be recreating in the movie. And you know, it's not they made a couple changes like to the interior, but you know, I look at it and I say that's the Owlship, and that they've totally brought it to life. And as a Watchmen fan, really encouraging to see that. At the beginning, he kind of said, "Oh, it's kind of like the Batmobile." I know that he wasn't really comparing it to the Batmobile. He was just saying, "Oh, it's a really cool vehicle." But I just want to say, I think the Owlship is a heck of a lot cooler than the Batmobile. And I always thought it was interesting that in the world of Watchmen, it's interesting how the Owlship just fits right into that world, because this is an alternate 1985. This is a what if 1985. What if superheroes had really existed and were affecting the course of history? And so some things in that world are more technologically advanced than what we actually have now. And so it's interesting how well it fits into that world. And I'll be very interested to see how will this Owlship, like when it's flying around New York, will it look weird, or are they gonna? It all depends on how the world itself is designed. But it'll be cool. Like, I thought it was really neat how they actually have a real physical Owlship flying around their New York set. I thought that was really cool, because I like it when they don't depend too much on CGI. But so that was really, really neat. But it'll be cool to see. You know, they have to convey the sense that this is not exactly our world. This is an alternate version of our world in the design, so that things like the Owlship, you know, fit right in. It was really cool to see Snyder geeking out over all the little things, like where he was, you know, it's like, oh, this is where they walk in, you know, and he was kind of making the sound effects and everything. That was really exciting to see. Adrian's office, see if I can find that shot. Looked like we found yet another shot they're planning to recreate. Let's see, here we are. This is when Rorschach and Night Owl are in Adrian's office, and then Dan calls the Owlship up, and it looked to me like they were going to try to recreate that shot, what they were showing. And it's cool to see that Adrian's office looks very similar as well. So that's really cool. Add another shot to the list that's going to be in the movie that's straight from the graphic novel, which there are obviously going to be many of them. The buttons. Let's see. They showed the button. Let's see if I can find the part where Laurie accidentally activates that flamethrower. It's around here somewhere. Here it is. This is in Chapter 7. And you can see the buttons there that Laurie is pressing. And some of them are a little bit different, but you know, they see the air-to-air missile one. That's that one's just as it is, just like it is in this new video journal. So it's really neat to see. Once again, the attention to detail is really cool. And one of the really cool things about the Watchmen graphic novel is all the little details, and it's without a doubt one of the most rewarding things as far as rereading. That every time I read it, I get so much more out of it. And there's so many little details. But once again, a word of caution to Watchmen fans. I think people might be overreacting a little bit. You know, Watchmen for years, of course, has been called the unfilmable graphic novel. That it's so complex. There are so many things, like at the end of each chapter, there's like an excerpt from a book or something like that. And some of this contains kind of important information or really interesting information. And how do you put that in the movie? You know, or you have to do it in a different way. But the thing that makes Watchmen unique is not just the story; it's the way the story is told. Tales of the Black Freighter being a great example, and which is not going to be in the movie. And so the visuals, although it's exciting to see David Gibbons' artwork come to life, and it's great to see the attention to detail, and that's encouraging. That's not what makes Watchmen unfilmable and impossible to adapt. And so I have, even though what we're seeing so far is encouraging, I still have to remain kind of skeptical, because I can't see how you can do this as a movie. I mean, I do think that if someone is going to attempt the impossible and adapt Watchmen into a movie, I think Zack Snyder is the guy to do it. He's completely earned my trust and respect, and I think that he will make as good of a movie as can be made out of Watchmen and still remaining faithful to the source. And I think he'll do... I don't think he can do it justice, but he's going to give it one heck of a try. And I really respect that. and I think that's about as I think he'll do about as good as anybody will be able to do. So it looks encouraging, but we just got to wait and see what they've done with this unfilmable story.